Another new year, another set of new movies. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainly Movies. It's the first Tuesday of the new year, so that means it's time to look ahead and talk about my most anticipated movies of 2024. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content like reviews, rank lists, and trailer reactions. Just like the last few years, I decided to stick with only 12 movies for this video, but it was extraordinarily hard to narrow down to such a small number this year. I've already got roughly 60 movies on my schedule that I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to try to rank my anticipation for any of these movies, so these are just going to be presented in order of the current US release date. Remember, these are just my most anticipated movies, and I imagine your list might look a bit different, so be sure to post your own most anticipated movies of 2024 in the comments below. Kicking things off with a February 2nd release date, we've got Matthew Vaughn's Argylle. This action spy comedy stars Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, and Henry Cavill, and focuses on a spy novelist who finds herself and her cat wrapped up in the real-life world of espionage after unknowingly writing about true events in her latest book. I've enjoyed Matthew Vaughn's Kingsman series quite a bit, and this looks like a fun, slightly different take on spycraft, with a good dose of fish-out-of-water humor. The trailer's got that same silly stylization as Kingsman, especially with the cat, so it looks like this will be a lot of fun. Next up is Lisa Frankenstein, which will be released on February 9th. February doesn't seem like the most obvious release date for a horror comedy, but when you take its dark romance storyline into consideration, Valentine's Day actually seems pretty perfect. Written by Diablo Cody and directed by Zelda Williams as her directorial debut, this Frankenstein riff stars Kathryn Newton as a teenager who reanimates a corpse in order to build her dream boyfriend. With a dash of warm bodies, a hint of weird science, and a colorful splash of late 80s Lisa Frank style, this is bound to become a new cult favorite. Set to release on April 12th is Adam Wingard's Godzilla x Kong: A New Frontier. After reports of the franchise ending, we're going to be getting a fifth installment in the MonsterVerse film franchise after all. Serving as a follow-up to 2021's kaiju action bonanza, Godzilla vs. Kong, this newest film sees Kong and Godzilla teaming up to take on a mutual threat. These films are all ridiculous, but I've enjoyed them for the most part, especially the Kong movies. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bit of expansion upon the Titans and Hollow Earth. And of course, some more massive monkey and lizard action. Rounding out April is Civil War, releasing on April 26th. This is the fourth film by director Alex Garland, and is his fourth to be released by A24. I really love both Ex Machina and Annihilation, and liked Men quite a bit as well, but this one appears to be much larger in scale than his previous three films, and far less sci-fi influenced. Set in a dystopian near future, this film stars Kirsten Dunst as a war reporter, leading a team of journalists across the US to report on an ongoing US Civil War. This looks to be an expansive and exciting action war thriller that's hopefully not as prophetic as it appears. Next up is If, coming out on May 17th. Directed by John Krasinski and starring Ryan Reynolds, Kaylee Fleming, and a huge ensemble voice cast, this movie looks like it could be a really interesting fantasy comedy that blends live action and animation. The story follows a young girl who discovers that she can see abandoned imaginary friends. Ifs, for short. She then joins Ryan Reynolds, who can also see the Ifs, on a quest to reunite them with humans who need them. In a year with a new A Quiet Place film coming out, I wasn't expecting to be getting a Krasinski movie like this, but it sounds like it has some potential. The trailer definitely seemed like it's aimed at a younger audience, but I'm hoping there's enough to it that'll appeal to adults as well. Jumping ahead to June, we've got Ballerina jeteing into theaters on June 7th. Directed by Len Wiseman, this action thriller is a spin-off of the John Wick franchise, set between the events of John Wick 3 and 4. It stars Ana de Armas as a ballerina assassin seeking vengeance for her family's murder, and also features Wick franchise veterans like Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane, Lance Reddick, and Angelica Houston. I love the John Wick franchise and the extensive world building within the films. So even though this isn't a Wick-centric movie, I have a feeling I'm still gonna really enjoy it. Next up on June 14th is Inside Out 2, directed by Kelsey Mann in his directorial debut. Unsurprisingly, this is a sequel to Pixar's 2015 film Inside Out, and brings us back into the mind of Riley. Riley's growing up and has finally hit puberty, so her 5 core emotions, joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust, are being joined by a new set of emotions, including anxiety, designed to help Riley navigate this new stage of life. Pixar rarely lets me down, and even though their sequels outside of the Toy Story franchise haven't been my favorites, I have high hopes for this one. Inside Out always seemed like a movie that had some good sequel potential, so I'm excited to journey back into the center of Riley's mind. Closing out June on the 28th is A Quiet Place Day 1. Directed by Michael Sarnowski, this is the 3rd film in the A Quiet Place franchise, and the first spin-off in the series. It's the first of the films not to be directed by John Krasinski, which might be a little weird, but we'll see how Sarnowski does. If he's gonna emulate the existing style, or try to make it something all his own. A Quiet Place 2 featured a little bit of day 1 action to start things off, but this new prequel is going to exclusively focus on the early events of the franchise's apocalypse, and will star Lupita Nyong'o, Joseph Quinn, and Alex Wolff. I'm not quite as excited for this film as I would be for the 3rd installment of the main franchise, but Krasinski is going to be bringing us that film in 2025, so for now, we'll see if this spin-off can capture some of the thrills and deafening silence. Next up is Twisters, releasing on July 19th. Directed by Lee Isaac Chung of Minari fame, this is a sequel to 1996's disaster blockbuster, Twister. Twister was one of my first favorite grown-up movies when I was a kid, and it's one that I've loved ever since. When there was talk of a Twister remake a few years ago, I was a little hesitant, but since things have morphed into a sequel, I've softened on the idea quite a bit. This film is set to star Daisy Edgar Jones, Glenn Powell, and Anthony Ramos, and since I've been avoiding anything too spoilery, I'm not sure of the exact connection to the original film, but I'm looking forward to finding out in July. Of all the films on this list, I think this is the one that runs the biggest risk of disappointing me, mostly thanks to my nostalgia for the original film, but I'm hopeful for right now. Closing out July on the 26th, we've got Deadpool 3, directed by Shawn Levy. This 3rd Deadpool film stars Ryan Reynolds and a whole cast of leaked characters, whom I won't spoil for you. It also marks Deadpool's long-anticipated entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as the 34th MCU film during Phase 5. There's not a whole lot of information available regarding the plot of this film yet, beyond the leaked characters I didn't mention before, but I've enjoyed the 2 previous Deadpool movies, and expect that this one is going to be a whole lot of fun as well. The entry into the MCU alone offers up plenty of fourth-wall breaking fodder, so I think this is going to be an exceptionally enjoyable popcorn summer blockbuster. With an October 4th release date, we've got another comic book sequel, Joker Folie à Deux. Once again directed by Todd Phillips and starring Joaquin Phoenix, this film is a direct sequel to 2019's Joker, though it seems like it might be taking things in a slightly different direction. Why do I say that? Well, this film is being billed as a musical thriller. You heard me right, a musical. I'm not exactly sure how that'll play out, but I suppose it might sort of fit into the story as part of Arthur's skewed perception of the world. But it's not just Arthur's story this time. This film is going to see the introduction of Harley Quinn into his world, played by Lady Gaga, who I expect will be contributing a good deal of the musicality to this musical. I really don't know what to expect with this one, but at the very least, it's bound to be an interesting experience. And my 12th most anticipated movie of 2024 is Mufasa: The Lion King, slated for release on December 20th. This movie is directed by Barry Jenkins and serves as a prequel to The Lion King, set in the same timeline and starring some of the same vocal talent as the 2019 remake. The original 1994 Lion King is one of my favorite movies of all time, but I've gotta say, I also really enjoyed the photorealistic animation of the remake. I know there were a lot of complaints about it being a shot-for-shot remake, but with this new film, it looks like the naysayers will have to come up with something new to complain about, because this is an entirely newly crafted story. It's a prequel that tells the story of a young Mufasa and Scar, their brotherly rivalry, and the ascent of Mufasa as king of the Pride Lands. Interestingly, it seems like it's going to make slight references to the rest of the Lion King franchise via a framing device. Rafiki will be recounting the story to Kiara, Simba and Nala's daughter from The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, while Timon and Pumbaa will be interjecting commentary a la The Lion King 1.5. I'm always up for more Lion King content, so I'm really looking forward to this one. So there you have it, my 12 most anticipated movies of 2024. Subject to change, of course. I'm sure at least a few of these listed releases will be out of date by the end of the year, but hopefully all of these movies actually stay in 2024. I'd love to hear what movies you're most looking forward to this year, so be sure to let me know in the comments below. As we move through 2024, I'll be watching and reviewing the movies I mentioned here, so be sure to stop back periodically for those reviews. Also, be on the lookout for my 2023 top 10 list. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this anticipation list, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe while you're at it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies, the way life should be.